my name is Maya, and welcome to the episode 36 of the Milai's Tinks Knitting Podcast, where I share all my thought, process, and other random stuff about all things fiber related, but mostly knitting. So today is the 8th of November 2024, and I'm coming to you from the French-speaking part of Switzerland, where I live with my gecko. Today's program, first, my hair is not naturally curly. I just did some braids when they were wet and we have the curly girl look, but it's absolutely not natural, just a FYI. So today's program, knitting wise, I have one finished object and I have two works in progress, one of which is like divided into two, and they are almost done, but not completely, but kind of, whatever. And the other one is a big whip that I'm super excited to show you. And I have some swatches, as always, and some acquisitions for once. And I think that's it for today. So first, what I'm wearing, this is the... Wait, let me move my hair out of the way. This is the Piping Hot Sweater by Lily Kate France that I tested for her last summer, and it is knit using Kakiori by Noro yarns in the colorway Inazawa, which is this super lovely, deep and intense purple with some tweeds-like stuff of pink and green and blue and grey, and yeah, there's a lot of colors going on here. And I really like it. And the piping detail is made using a hand-dyed non-superwash yarn from Woolen Twine Fiber Studio. It's the colorway Snowflake, which is a limited edition, so you cannot get it anyway. But it was just a leftover. I had like 30 grams laying around, and it was the perfect amount to make the contrasting detail on this guy. And it was the perfect shade because this Snowflake colorway is like a white base. There is a spider on my window. It's a small spider, but it's a white base with some variegated purple, like light lavender purple and light blue, and it's like perfect. So I was super happy to use up some leftovers on top of the yarn I bought for this one. And yeah, if you want more information, you can check out the beginning of my podcast. I think it's episode 4 and 5, where I was knitting on this guy in the podcast. So if you're ready to see super early videos of mine, you can go and check that out. But also, please don't. But I know some people have been binge watching all the episodes from the beginning, so you guys probably know everything about this one. But yeah. So I'm not gonna go too much into details about it for now, but that's what I'm wearing today. And I actually never wear it because this... Let's put the hair in the front again. The first time I washed it, when I blocked it, I was using the Eucalan soap wool wash thing. It's the no rinse type. And at the beginning, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, cool, no rinse, you don't need to, like, you can just throw your knits in the water, pour the soap on it, and then you just drain out the water and you're done. I'm sorry, there is a construction site in front of my window, so we're gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, so it was a little bit weird to me, because when you block something, it's not dirty to begin with, but when you wash your hand knit, they are dirty, because otherwise you wouldn't be washing them, right? So if they are dirty and you just soak them in water, put some soap on it and then drain the water, but not the soap, you're not draining the dirt either, right? So then your clothes are still dirty. But I wasn't wearing this guy because as soon as I was putting it on, I had this weird feeling like when you have dirty hair and you can feel like the greasy texture of your hair on your hands whenever you put your hand in them, you know? And I had this feeling when I was putting this garment on. Because the Eucalan soap has some lanolin, of course, it's the point, and if you don't rinse it out, then the lanolin stays on the clothes, But lanolin in itself is kind of similar to the sebum you have in your hair. So I was having this weird feeling of having dirty hair on me when I was wearing each garment I had washed using the lanolin soap. Ugh. And it was just... I couldn't. But it took me so long to realize that it was this exact soap that was actually bothering me. I had so many hand-knit sweaters that I wasn't wearing because they felt weird when they were on my skin. And it took me like 2 years to understand what it was. So what I did is I had another soap, one that I got from Woolberry, which is not a no-rinse and it doesn't have any lanolin. So I washed this guy and some others using this other soap. And now it feels so nice. It feels clean and fresh and it feels like something that isn't greasy and dirty. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like everyone just loves the eucalyptus and the lanolin stuff. And I feel a little bit alone, feeling that way about them. But yeah, just wanted to talk about that in case you maybe had the same thing and you didn't understood why your clothes were feeling weird against your skin. Maybe it's the soap. And maybe try something that you need to rinse out so that you can actually rinse out the dirt on your clothes. Anyway, let's get into today's program. So the first thing is the finished object. It's a little pumpkin! It's so cute. It's so round and soft and perfect and squishy. I'm never going to recover from this. So yeah, I finally did it. It's the Jasmine Pumpkin pattern by this designer. I think her name on Instagram is like Nordic Yarn Art or Nordic Yarns. I will put it on the screen. And she has a lot of jasmine designs, including this one, the pumpkin. Oh. It's even cuter than I expected. It's also a lot bigger, but yeah. There are two sizes in the pattern and I don't even know which one I did. To be honest, I just understood the logic of the crochet stitch and then I just did it and I didn't really care about the pattern anymore. But anyway, the yarn I used is Nutiden by Oak Air, which is an unspun yarn, which is also part of the reason why it has this soft fuzzy look. And I used Swaveltica for the bottom and then I marled it with Loose 2022. And then I ran out, so I included some white at the top here and I started marling it here, but then I ran out of the orange, so I just continued it on with the white. So it definitely looks better from this side. From this side, the demarcation, delimitation, separation between the white and the orange is a little bit harsh, but from this side it looks nice, I think. It's so cute. And I didn't put any filling in it because the jasmine stitch is kind of dense and the Nutiden is kind of filling out the space you give it, and I was using quite a small hook, which is a 4mm, and I held the yarn double, so yeah, it's kind of sturdy, so I didn't really need to put any filling in it, so I didn't, and it's super cute. I just can't. It's, I think, the cutest thing I have ever made. I love it. So yeah, and actually it was fast to make, except for the part where I had to unravel because I made it to the end of the row and I didn't have enough of the dark orange to fade into the light orange. So I had to unravel, and then I did every other stitch using two colors, using two strands of the dark orange and one strand of the dark with one strand of the light for each other petal, whatever. I was just alternating, so I had to cut the yarn every time and then split splice it and then cut again after one stitch and split splice it, and it took a while, but even though it was still a super fast project. So yeah, it's just perfect. It's so cute. And Halloween is over, We are in November, so this is definitely coming too late, but it's okay. And since this used up a lot of yarn, I don't know how many I will put up on the screen, and it was fast to make, I think this is going to be perfect to use up other leftovers or just samples of Nutiden I have, because I have a ton, and I think this is perfect. And I could make some cute little gift for people in some other colors for Christmas or Easter or whatever, each color for each theme. And as I mentioned, the designer has a ton of other patterns using the same stitch, so I think she has like Christmas trees and headbands and cowls and beanies and a ton of other like homeware stuff. So yeah, there is everything. And there are also a lot of like tutorials for tension tips and just tips in general to do the Jasmine stitch, so really if you're having any trouble doing this, you can just find some advice on there. So yeah. This is just so cute. Okay, so it will just live here for today. And let's get to the next thing. So let's talk about the most exciting for today, which is my Maxine sweater! Oh wow! This is so beautiful. I am so happy with my color choice. Wow! I'm just speechless. This is incredible. I will just take a moment to appreciate how gorgeous it looks. I just can't wait to wear this. So this is the Maxine sweater that I am test knitting for Laura Penrose, and I need to finish it in 1 week from today, but it's okay. I am halfway through, I think, and yeah, it took me 1 week to get there, so chill, I can make it. The yarns I'm using, the main color is Biche et Bûche Le Petit Lamb's Wool held double in the colorway Bordeaux Gris, Burgundy Grey, and I am using again unspun yarns Honor Oak Air for the colorwork. For the blue, teal, turquoise, I'm using Bitan, which is a teal turquoise color. And for the orange pops here, I am using, you guessed it, the same color as this. So if you saw the latest episode, I cast on this guy, I made it to the halfway point, and then I had to stop to finish the colorwork yoke, and then I used up the leftovers of the orange to finish this. So, and the last color is this grey inside here and on top here, and that one is Twinny from Isea. Isea, I think it's pronounced, which is this dark grey in the colorway 4S. And I still have it in the skein form because it's one of those where you buy 100 grams but you get 2 50-gram hanks. So I just wound up one hank and I have one left. And I only needed 50 grams, so I wish I could have bought only half of it. But I don't think the shop I got it in was doing that, so I didn't. And I am holding this one triple. Every other I'm holding double, but this one is so thin, it is 510 meters per 100 grams, and it's a light fingering, so I had to hold this guy triple. And the way I'm doing it with only one ball, as you can see, is by doing kind of a chain, like I'm doing huge chain stitches, like more than my wingspan, and then I knit until I get to the end of the loop, and then I take the working yarn and I pass it through the loop and I pull a super long loop again, and then I have 3 strands that I can knit from again. So that's what I'm doing, and it's going smoothly. And this little stitch marker here, progress clipper, is marking where I added a new ball of yarn. So this whole section here is exactly 1 ball of yarn, 50 grams. And I have used 3, so I used 2 in the yoke until there, and then the third one was here. And I think I'm going to take one of these, the small charts, I don't know which one yet, because the colors are swapped sometimes, and I think I will put it before the hem of the body and before the cuffs on the sleeves, to have a little reminder of the colorwork at the end. I'm not sure. It's not in the pattern and I haven't asked Laura yet because I'm not there yet. But I think I would like to try that. I think it would be cute. So that's my plan. And did I wanted to add something? Yes, I am knitting size 3 for the yoke. And then I followed the modifications included in the pattern to size down to size 2 for the body and sleeves. Because as you probably know, my shoulders are pretty big compared to my bust. So I decided to try out what was already in the pattern to see if it would fit me. And I can actually do a little try on, except I need to put it on try on too big first. So let me grab some and do the transfer. I am losing it. Oh, look at that. I'm just wearing sweatpants as always. And oh, the body is coming a lot lower than I expected. So, and the stitch holders on the sleeves are a little bit too small. So it's actually, I have a little bit more room normally in here than I seem to have now, but oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's perfect. I don't even know what to say. I'm so happy. Wow. So, for the fit, it's already touching my neck here, even though I haven't added the collar yet, so I'm definitely gonna get the neck hump, I think. But we will see. Maybe it's because the sleeves are too tight because of the thing here at the underarm that's just too small. And maybe I can like relax the fit a little bit if I have a little bit more room there. I don't know, it's too early to tell. If it fits like this, it's gonna be fine. Kind of. It's still gonna touch my neck a little bit too much, but yeah. I did do some modifications to adapt the fit to my body. Because the easiest way to tell my proportions is that first, as I mentioned, my bust is way smaller than my shoulder size and my back is like 4 sizes bigger than my front. Because usually if you measure your cross front, I'm super hot, I'm sweating right now. If you measure your cross front and your cross back, it's supposed to be roughly the same measurement if you're a woman with a standard size body. In my case, it's absolutely not the case. I have like more than 5 centimeters difference, which is 2 inches. My back is bigger by 5 centimeters. So if I sit on the side here, you can see that my shoulder tip here, if I'm in perfect profile, my shoulder tip is a lot to the front because my back is big. So what I did to accommodate for that is I shifted each sleeve 3 stitches forward so that the front would be a little bit smaller and the back would be bigger, wider, to accommodate for my shoulders being placed in a weird spot. And I think it's working great, because if I hadn't done that, the back would feel stretched and the front would do something like this. It happens all the time. So in this case, it's not doing it. So I'm super happy about these modifications. It's just 3 stitches, but overall it means that the back, I think the calculation, the back is 5 centimeters bigger than the front, I think. Because 3 plus 3 on the back, and then on the front it means that there is a 12 stitch difference between the front and the back, and that's the 5 centimeters I need. About something like that. So yeah, this is at least working great, and we will see about the front neck situation. We will see what happens when I put in the neckline. I haven't done it yet, even though I usually put the neckline pretty early, because I added 2 pairs of short rows on the back neck here, because I was pretty sure that the short rows that are already included in the below the colorwork here wouldn't be enough, which is probably is because of this. But I'm not sure I placed them in the correct part, because I have one here and then one back here, but I think I should have put one here but the other one here, I think. So I might have to move them, but since this is knit top down and this is the cast on edge, I think I will have to insert the needle before the first increase row and then cut the thing off or unravel each stitch one by one, because this is going the opposite way of the knitting, and then do the short rows again in the other direction, then bind off, and then pick up from the bind off to knit the color. Or maybe I don't bind off, but I think I will. Actually, I don't need to, because this is non-superwash yarns, and the Nutiden and everything is doing is making the fabric very sturdy and dense, and there is a ton of integrity in this, so I probably don't need the stability of the cast on or bind off edge. So maybe I don't need to do that, and I can just do the short rows and then go straight into the color. I think that's what I'll do. Anyway, I will see. I first need to do a little bit of the sleeves so that I can take them off this thing that's too small and assess the fit and just see if I need to actually move the short rows or not. Because if I move around, yeah, this is definitely touching my front neck. And can I just take a look at the back? Yeah, it's definitely too low. I would like it to be like this. We shall see. Apart from that, this is perfect. I mean, look at it. I love those colors. It's so unique, it's so beautiful. I also have a theme going on. I just love turquoise and purple. What can I say? Sorry, I was getting too warm, so you won't have the delightful opportunity to look at this anymore on this episode, but yeah. Just wanted to mention first, I haven't been very clear. The reason I'm probably getting a neck hump at the front, even though the sizing is very well done on this pattern in general, is because my proportions are off compared to the charts. So the fit issues I'm getting are pretty unique to me, and you most likely won't get it if you need this and you have a more normal body than I have. So the pattern is still very well designed and graded. Yeah, so that's it for that. And also I wanted to mention my hair everywhere. And I also wanted to mention that the pattern actually comes with 2 options for the color work. So you have the 3 color options, so 1 main color and 2 color for the stars and stuff, and then 6 colors, so you have 1 main color and 5 contrast colors. And I am doing 4 because 2 felt a little bit dull, and I just wanted to add the pop of orange in the middle here. And to do that, I had to make, I mean I didn't have to, but I decided to do some 3 color work rows. Every time I have the orange, I have 3 colors going on, and it was a little bit more annoying than if I had only 2, but it's only like 6 rows total in the whole colorwork yoke, so it's fine. And I'm using 4mm needles for both the stockinette and the colorwork. Yes. Next up are some swatches for an upcoming design idea of mine. So I showed you this guy last time. This is again knit using Nutiden. This is the colorway Mörker 2022. And this is a ribbed cable motif, and this is just stockinette. And I wasn't sure of the difference in like thickness between those two, because this is first cables and also rib, so this is quite thick, really. It's not dense in any means, but it's definitely thick, and this feels very thin compared to it, even though it's Nutiden, it's very squishy. But yeah, the two were a bit too different. So I went back to the drawing board and I tried out another stitch pattern, which is this one, which looks similar, and it's a little bit too flat because I steam blocked it and I pushed the iron on top of it without thinking, so now it's super flat. So it's supposed to have a little bit more definition than that, but this one is also a cable pattern, but it's using slip stitches, and there is no rib in this one, so it's a lot less thick, so it goes a lot better with the thickness of the stockinette, I think, and you still have the like wavy thing effect that I had before, so I think this works a lot better. So I did my calculations, I measured my gauge using this one, and then I cast on, and I was like this much into it. I had the whole back piece, and I was kind of fighting with my yarn, so I wasn't really happy about that. So after a while, I reconsidered and then I decided that I needed to go up a size. Even though this fabric feels really nice, it's not really dense, but yeah, just the knitting experience wasn't nice at all. And this Nutiden is kind of in the middle of the thicknesses you can get from them, so you can actually find quite a lot of blends that will be thicker than this one because it changes with every colorway. So I figured it would be better to size up the needle. So I did, and I made another swatch that I haven't steam blocked, but this one, so the first one is made using 5mm needles, and this one is made using 5.5mm. I can actually tell you the size in US because I have the needles right here. It's US 9. So this is the same stitch pattern, and this time I haven't steam blocked it, so there is a lot more texture in the swatch. I started over, so my gauge is bigger, so I need to do the calculations all over again. But it's okay. I'm super excited. And this is an unspun yarn, of course, and I'm holding it double, and my idea was to have some parts in stockinette like this where I'm holding the yarn double. Did I even tell you the design idea? No. I am planning to make like a shacket style, so a short jacket, and I wanted to have this texture on the top parts. Actually you can see the slope here, this is supposed to be the shoulder. I just wanted to test out the method with this texture. So I want to have the texture on the top part of the shoulders here, same on the whole back panel, along the whole back, and then have the stockinette start from around the middle of the armhole until the bottom of the body, and have stockinette also for the sleeves. Can you see my vision? I think it's gonna be awesome. So that's my idea. And the bonus thing that I forgot to mention last time is that the texture is knit bottom up, so you cast on straight and then you knit for a while in the texture pattern, and then you can do all the shaping for the front neck and the shoulders doing bind-offs, which is a lot easier to do than with short rows. And it's also a lot easier to do when you have a little bit of fabric there and then you do shaping on top of existing fabric, rather than if you do top down, you have to do the shaping immediately when you cast on and you still don't know how to do the stitch pattern, you don't know what it's going to look like, you don't know how it falls on your body, you have no idea. And you have to do shaping immediately, which is a little bit difficult. So I wanted to mix the bottom up and top down worlds so that you could do the shoulder shaping bottom up, but then you pick up from the cast on edge and you do the rest of the shacket top down, so you can just stop whenever you want. I think this is genius. So yes. So I just need to do my calculations again so that I can cast on the back panel again with the new gauge, and then it's also going a lot faster thanks to the bigger gauge, which is nice because this is a slip stitch pattern, so it's kind of slow, but then you're gonna have the stockinette which is gonna go super fast. So it should be fine. And I have done the swatches using Nutiden. No, I forgot to tell you the end of the story. So I was using Nutiden double, but my idea is that, for example, for the cuffs or maybe for the collar, because it's a shirt jacket, I would like to have a shirt collar, you know, the one that folds over like this. But I don't want to do it in just like ribbing or plain stockinette and then have the border curls or have to do something at the edges to prevent it from curling. I would like to have it like double thickness stockinette, but if I do double thickness stockinette with the yarn held double, it's gonna be too thick, I think. I mean, maybe not, but yeah. My idea is to try to do those edges using the yarn single and then fold it so that you have the same double strand but in a double thickness. You see what I mean? I would like to try that. Except knitting with Nutiden held single is not exactly the easiest, and I actually haven't tried it in my life yet, so I'm not sure. I need to try. This is not too thick actually. This is definitely not much thicker than this texture held single, so I don't know. It's just an idea I had in my head. I haven't tried it yet, but if people don't want to use Nutiden, I wanted to find an alternative in another yarn that would allow you to do the trick of holding the yarn single, but without having to buy a yarn that you're gonna hold double for the whole project except for the edges. So I had this bowl of Rauma Garn vamps that I had bought to swatch, and I didn't know what to do with except swatching, so I swatched. So I did another one. It's the same stitch pattern, it's again on the bigger needles, so you can see it a lot more clearly because this is white and you can see how beautiful it is. And I cast on the stitches here to knit in stockinette. This was to test the sleeve because you're going to cast on from the side this time, so I just wanted to test out the pickup rate. And this is also knit on the 5.5mm, so the bigger needles. I'm not 100% sure, I might need to size down for the stockinette, so knit this on bigger needles than the stockinette. I still have to see, I'm not sure. Yeah, designing process, I guess. Vams is like the... It has some small sisters yarns. I think there is Fivel, and I don't know the other names, but I think Fivel is half the size of Vams, which means you could buy like one ball of Fivel and the rest in Vams to do the edges using smaller yarn than the rest of the shacket. Isn't it great? So, that's my idea. I'm super excited, and yeah, it could have been a work in progress, except I unraveled it, so it's still a swatch state. Can you count swatches as work in progress? I don't know. I need to sneeze. It's not coming. So yeah, that's my plan. So I'm going to cast on again this week, and hopefully this time it will work out. So the last work in progress I wanted to talk about are my little dice pouches things. And I have almost finished one. It looks like nothing. It looks like a hat. It's supposed to go like this, and it's just a pouch thing using entrelac stitch, and I use some self-striping sock yarn in this. So the problem is that the stripes are not really playing well with the entrelac, but whatever. I have no idea why I say entrelac with the English accent. It's entrelac. Entrelac. So yeah, I finished it and then I ran out of yarn, and I was not sure what yarn to use because this is kind of a weird colors that I don't really have in my stash. And I was going through my jar of little nuggets of leftovers and couldn't find anything I wanted. But suddenly I realized that I had some mini skins. There is a bluebird. Oh, you're so cute. Oh. Hi. Oh, he left. I realized that I had some mini skins that were not in the leftover jar, of course, because they were not leftovers. And I had one in this very bright orange, which is perfect. So I used that to do the last row and then the finishing row, kind of. And then I did this guy, which is a folded over stockinette thing. And I also did the I-cord for the tie, because this is supposed to be a purse kind of thing, type of thing, like this. So I wanted to thread the I-cord through the folded over thing, but then I realized that I forgot to make an opening to thread the I-cord into, so this is closed all the way around, so I cannot put that into it. So I need to unravel the end and make something. It's okay, I have an idea of how I can do that, but yeah, it's just one more step I need to do that I didn't want it to do. So instead of finishing this one, I cast on the next one. And it's almost done. So I had this, which is the same yarn as this, but in blue. And I cast on this time. I didn't want it to do the entrelac again, so I just did a plain stockinette body here. And I did it a lot smaller because the other one is way too big. I think the other one is 128 stitches and this one is 64 stitches around, so same as a sock. And then I just knit straight into a tube. And what I'm doing here, I did a purl row here, and then I'm knitting stockinette. And this time I remembered to do a little hole for the... where are you? For the tie here. It's super small, it's gonna be bigger afterwards. And then I'm just going to knit a few more rows and then fold over the edge and sew it down. And the reason I did the purl row here is because on the inside you have this little ridge. It's difficult to see, but there is a ridge of knit here. So when I sew down the live stitches, I can just follow the ridge of knit stitches, and it will be much easier to stay on the same row when I sew, rather than having to like thread in a contrasting yarn or something to keep track of the pearl rows I need to sew on. I'm pretty happy about this trick. So yeah, that's my plan. I am losing stitches. No. So almost done, but not completely, and I still need to do the I-cord as well, and I have a lot of yarn left, so I think I can do another one using the leftovers, and then I will have 3 pouches. And my plan was to do them for my D&D party to put our dice into. And let me grab my dice actually. Here are my dice. They are so cute. Look! There is a penguin inside. They are blue. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there is a penguin inside the dice. And it's so cute. So I have this whole bottle, and I'm just gonna see if they all fit inside it, and they do. It's perfect! Look at that! If I close it off like that using the needle, my dice right there. It's perfect! I'm super excited. Alright, so that's it for the dice pouches. And this one really, I don't know. Also I messed up because I picked up way too many stitches for the channel thing where the tie is going to go, which is why it's flaring out like this. But I didn't want it to start over, so... And I also think when I block it, I can get it to be quite the same size, kind of, because the entrelac stitch is really like it's cinching in a lot. So I think it's gonna be fine if I block it aggressively. Yeah. Alright, the last thing I wanted to talk about is my acquisitions. Are you ready? I am not. I received it yesterday. Wait, I want to arrange them in a nice way for you. Oh my god! Look. Explored it, the farmer's market collection, and I got my yarn. Oh. So this is not everything I got. I have 2 skeins of each, and let me tell you my plans. This is In Bloom, this is Butterfly Peaflower, this is Botanicals, and this one is Heirloom. And everything is in the Earthy sock base, which is the non-superwash merino base, except Botanicals, the blue one, which is the cashmere sock base. Let me explain. So those 2, I have 2 of each, as I mentioned, and I am planning it for a design. I showed it already in the fall knitting plans video. And this is a swatch that I made a super long time ago. And I had been waiting to find the perfect yarn to make this. So this is using a slip stitch pattern again. It looks like it, but it's absolutely not the same as in the Nutiden swatch I showed you earlier. This one doesn't involve cables, it's just slip stitches. And it's a contiguous shoulder construction, and you have some gentle stripes happening on the stockinette section here. So it goes like this, on a real shoulder. I'm super proud. It's gonna be amazing. And yeah, as I mentioned, I wanted to find the perfect colors for this, because those are leftovers I just used for swatches, and I like the low contrast. I think it looks great, but I wanted a little bit more contrast, and I wanted to use a solid paired with a variegated in non-superwash fingering weight that was very soft, because as you probably know, I am super sensitive to yarns, and I just wanted something that I could wear next to skin, because this is fingering weight, and even though it's a slip stitch and it's a tiny bit thicker than just a stockinette body in fingering, it's still pretty lightweight, so I don't want it to have to wear a full layer underneath. So I just wanted something super soft. And it happened to be pretty difficult to find colorways that I would love, but I did. So I have my, like, not flat but tonal color here, which is between a purple and a blue. It's beautiful. I love those colors that are between something and it's difficult to tell what it is. It looks a lot more blue on screen, I think. It's definitely more purple in real life, and there is a little bit of tonality where there is some parts that are a little bit more purple than others. Beautiful. And then this one is a soft variegated between purple, pink and slight blues. I don't know, it's beautiful and it's perfectly together. And actually, you know what, it's funny because this is also purple and like blue pink. It's like the same. I really didn't do that on purpose, I promise, but it's kind of the same story. Yeah, coming back to the roots, I guess. So that's the plan. And this one already has a name, and there is also something super exciting coming up, but I'm not gonna tell it now. But you may be able to connect the dots because I have already talked about that, but I didn't say about what pattern. Maybe. Anyway, so that's it for this little sweater. I will start working on it in December, I think, right after I'm done with the Nutiden shacket thing and that it's off to testing. I will start this other one. Now, those two, I also have 2 skeins of each, and I am not planning to pair them. I don't think they go particularly well together. Nope. This looks a lot more orange on camera. It's a lot more red and bright. I mean, it's bright, but it's more red. And this one is a soft, variegated blue, purple, teal. Exactly my thing. I love it. Battery change. So, those two, my plans are every morning I notice I have holes in my wardrobe because as you may know, I sent out a lot of my summer garments and t-shirts, knitted tees and stuff away because they were not fitting or they were itchy or I just didn't want to wear them. So I have sent out a lot of stuff that I was actually wearing because I was forcing myself to wear them because I needed them, but I wasn't enjoying it. But now I don't have them anymore. So now I'm like, I don't know what to wear because I don't really have a ton of knitted clothes left. I mean t-shirts and summer tops. And by summer top I mean camisoles really, because when I'm wearing a sweater like this I don't want to wear a t-shirt because my shoulders are already pretty bulky and large and wide, so I don't want to add anything under a sweater by having a t-shirt sleeve underneath. So I prefer to wear sleeveless stuff below something like this. But I don't have a ton, and I especially don't have a lot that are close fitting because again, if I don't want the extra bulk of a t-shirt sleeve, I also don't want the extra bulk of an oversized body because I like big t-shirts. And I don't have a lot of stuff to wear, so I would like to have layering pieces knit in wool that I can wear in the winter that are sleeveless and close fitting, like negative ease. So those are super soft. So I have 2 of each, so I can make, because with one skein I can make a close fitting sleeveless top, but it's gonna be a little bit cropped, and for a layering piece specifically I don't like cropped. If it's not for layering, I'm fine with like super short, there is no too cropped for me. But for layering I want it to be full length, like to my hips. And for that I need 2 skeins. So I have 2 skeins of each, so that I can knit a sleeveless, close-fitting layering piece. I also have 2 other skeins from another pre-order, from another brand. So I have 3 tops quantities, and I have a lot of contenders for patterns. So I just made a list. The first, I have knit camisole number 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and it's like my favorite shape ever. It's amazing on me, I'm sorry, but I look beautiful in that. I just love it so much. But the armholes are a bit too tight because I didn't do any modifications to the back, and it's too short and the armholes are too small, and it's it feels super tight, so it's not very comfortable. And I had only one skein, and there are double knit edges, which means that it's very cropped. So I don't like wearing that for layering piece, even though I would really want to. So I really need another camisole number 5. I also like the camisole number 9, which would be, the neckline is coming a little bit less in, so it would be easier to pair with something that has a wider neckline like this guy. So I had the pattern, I was ready to cast on, I had swatched and everything, but I wanted to use cotton merino by Knitting for Olive, and I noticed afterwards in another pattern I have knit that is also negative is that it doesn't have enough memory for my taste. So I stopped just before casting on, and I wanted to use this cotton merino for something that has positivity, so that I can take advantage of the nice drape of the yarn. So I have the camisole number 9 I also want to make. But I also want to make this t-shirt using the cotton merino. It's been ready to cast on since 3 months. I just want to knit it, but I have so many stuff to make. So I have those two. I also really want to make the mixed rib cami by Florence Miller. It's gorgeous. Every time I see someone making this one, like a podcaster or someone on Instagram, I'm like, I need it in my life, but I don't have the time. So I really want to make that one. I have also been wanting to do the twist loop top by Other Loops since forever. I love it. It would look amazing. Pretty similar to the camisole number 5, but with some cables happening. I really want to make it. And then I also have the Sassy Classy crop top by Anne-Catherine Stoll. And for this one, I think I'm gonna use the cashmere, because this one is not close fitting everywhere and it involves a little bit of drape, and the cashmere has more drape than just the merino. So I think I will use this guy. I have a picture of a version by someone that's like so beautiful, and I think I want exactly this one. And the colors are pretty similar, so it's gonna be exactly the same. Yeah, and the last one is of course the mini mock neck the mini mock neck tank. I already have one. I love wearing it. It's great for layering, and since it has the mini mock neck thing happening, it's actually also great for sweaters that have a larger neckline, because if it's the mock neck, I think it's okay. It's not like you have just the edges here and then you have nothing on the front. I hate that look. But if it's the mock neck all the way around, coming out of the neckline of the sweater, I think it's fine. So yeah, more patterns than I have yarn for, but also more yarn than I have time to knit. So I really want to cast on one. And I also have, okay, we are transitioning into the next part, which is coming up. So on Monday, I'm gonna do another photo shoot with my photographer friend. And last time we did the photo shoot, we agreed on payments, like, is it called bartering? I'm not sure. Like, she asked for me to knit her something, a summer top, which of course I said yes to. So I'm gonna do, she asked for the simplistic rib cami. She saw the picture of it on my Instagram and she fell in love with it, and she wanted it in a rust color. So I know the color I would like to buy, but I haven't had the chance to buy it yet. More on that later. Hi, editing Maya. I said more on that later, but I actually forgot to add what I wanted to add. So I'm doing it now. The first thing is about the Maxine Sweater, the grey yarn I had to buy, the ICR one. I said I needed to go to my local yarn shop to buy this exact grey shade, but it's not exactly local to me, this particular yarn shop. It's called Nutiden, and it's actually close to where my boyfriend lives, which is in another canton. Switzerland is divided in cantons, just like the US are divided in states. And in this other canton, Fribourg, the 1st of November is a bank holiday, but it is not in the canton where I live. So I wasn't aware of that. So I made all the trip up to the yarn store, only to find out it was closed, so I couldn't go there. And I couldn't get this grey yarn, but I couldn't get the rust yarn for the simplistic rib cami for my friend either. So that's why I haven't got this yarn yet. But then I absolutely needed the grey yarn for the Maxine sweater, so I had to panic go to a yarn shop that was close to me. So come back to my place and then go to this yarn shop and try to find something, which is also why I had to buy a 100-gram skein instead of the 50 grams I needed, because I couldn't get exactly the one I wanted. And also the grey is not exactly the grey I wanted. I wanted something slightly darker and less heathered. So it's not the perfect grey, but it's working so great, it's okay. I'm fine with it. Yeah, anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I'll let you go back to the video now. And so I have this summer top I need to knit for her, and all the other things I talked about today. And then I can finally cast on either a t-shirt or a layering piece. I'm not sure which one I'm gonna do first. I don't know. That's it for the first thing coming up, is the photo shoot. I'm super excited. It's mainly for the Halmoni Shawlette and cowl and the Halmoni Jacket, because I took some pictures in my kitchen, but I would like to have some great pictures for the pattern launch. So that's also something that's coming up. I have the Halmoni Shawl and Shawlette and cowl coming up on the 26th, when there is the S and th sound next to each other, it's super difficult for me. 26th of November is the release date. And the technique is going great. A lot of testers are halfway through already. It's a super fast pattern, so I'm just so happy to see the little shawlettes and cowls grow on the needles. It's great. I'm really enjoying this. And I also have the Halmoni Jacket in testing. This one is gonna be released later. It's in mid-December, because it's a jacket. It takes a lot more time to knit. But a lot of people are already done or close to finished. I have each type of testers. Some have just started and some have already finished. I think it's great because you can see the jacket in every stage of the knitting at all times, which I think is amazing. Anyway, so I also have that coming, and then also I have the Nutiden shacket thing. I need to finish my Maxine. The deadline is the 15th of November, which is in exactly 1 week. But I'm going on a little holiday on the 13th, I think. So I have 5 days to finish, and I would like to block it and take pictures. So I have 3 days to finish. Oops. It's gonna be fine. I know I can knit a sleeve in 1 day, so I just need to crack on with it, as someone would say. Anyway, yeah, that's it for coming up. And the holidays I'm going to are climbing holidays. We are going to the south of France, near the Mont Ventoux. We already went there, by we, I mean my boyfriend and I, last year, and we have been wanting to go again ever since, and now is the time. The weather cooled down a bit, because since it is south of France, it gets pretty hot during the summer, so November is gonna be perfect, I think. I'm super excited. And talking about climbing, I mentioned that yesterday, I didn't mention that yesterday, I mentioned in the latest episode that yesterday on the 7th, I was gonna go on a climbing competition again, in another gym, not the one I usually go to. And it was fun, there were a lot of people, and... okay, the festival from, I mean, it's called a festival, but it's just an event, a competition, at my local gym is called something related to toilets. It's a play of words in French, it makes sense, okay? But it's a whole like private joke going on between everyone in the gym and just the people working at the gym. They just have a private joke going on with the toilets, and it's the whole theme. Everywhere the competition is themed around toilets. I promise it's funny, okay? It's not just childish, it's really funny. But it's like, it's known, they are known for the fact that they have a festival linked to toilets. So one of the challenges during the festival was to climb on a wall using those things to like unclog toilets, you know, the orange thing. I'm gonna put up a picture. And they put some plastic plates on the walls, and you had to like stick the thing onto the plastic thing and you couldn't use your hands on the actual climbing holes and you had to use those guys to climb. And it was super funny because it was actually linked to the theme of the festival because it was related to toilets and it was fun. And at the competition where I was yesterday, which has nothing to do with toilets, okay? It's just a climbing competition. They had the exact same challenge using the toilet thing and we were like, what's wrong with you guys? Literally 2 weeks apart, using exactly the same challenge as the other gym, but without it having any link to the actual event you're holding. Like, what's wrong with you guys? It was ridiculous. And they even had it, there were some finals again, and they even had the one boulder for the men using this thing. Like, guys, it's funny for a challenge, but you're not gonna make actual climbers in the finals use that. It was ridiculous, really. And on top of that, the boulder was really badly set because actually it was easier to climb it without using the thing than with. So it was just a pure fail in my opinion. But yeah, anyway. Other than that, the competition was fun. There were a lot of people. And I didn't make it into the finals. My friend either, even though she's so much stronger than me because there were a lot of strong people and a lot of strong women. And funny because I think they were all younger than me. It's just there is a crew of super strong young girls. They are like 15 to 16 years old and they are just insane. So it was nice to see them climb. And I have been in the finals against them a few times and it's not funny. When you're against someone that's this much stronger than you, it's not funny. So I was actually glad I wasn't in the finals. So I could just enjoy watching them climbing and yeah, it was fun. So yeah, I think that's all for today, finally. So, no, one more thing. Some people mentioned some podcast recommendations in the previous episodes and I've been loving them. I watched each podcast that was recommended and my favorite one, by far, is Danish Musings. I have no idea how I didn't knew about her before, but like it opened up a whole new world to me. I enjoy her videos so much. I am binge watching them from the beginning, of course. And I just love everything she makes. Everything is beautiful, her aesthetic, she's beautiful, what she knits is beautiful, the colors she chooses are beautiful, and especially I love the way she talks. And at the beginning I didn't really knew how it was possible that someone that's not her first language is not English because she's Danish, and I couldn't really understand how she was talking so well in English, using such beautiful words and doing such incredible sentences, and that just the way she turns her phrases is just beautiful and it's just a delight to hear. Love it. And I just watched an episode where she answered some questions and someone asked what was her professional background, and she actually has a degree in English. So she literally studied English at university, and I was like, that's why she talks so well. So yeah, I really enjoy hearing her speak. I wish I could maybe speak like that one day. Never. But yeah, it's definitely something to look up to, and I love that. Anyway, if you have any podcast recommendations, I would gladly hear them out. I think I wanted to tell that I know all the big channels already, but I didn't know Danish Musings, so I guess I didn't know all the big channels. You can recommend your favorite podcasts and I will check them out, and if I find something I really like, I will mention it in the next podcast. So yeah, that's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and thank you so much for your support as always. Thank you for each of your comments, thank you for subscribing, thank you for likes, thank you for everything, thank you for being here. I'm just super grateful that I get to talk to real people who actually cares about what I say. So yeah, thank you so much, and I hope I will see you again in the next one.